The Angry Chicken is a production of Amove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for more gaming and esports shows. Want to support The Angry Chicken? Go to patreon.com/TAC to become a TAC patron. We'd like to thank everyone who's supporting us on Patreon. The Angry Chicken is also sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. You can use the code TAC to get double memory on your next gaming PC and support The Angry Chicken in the process.
Well met.
A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
It's time for a little roll.
This is the Angry Chicken.
I hope you like my invention.
Tastingo! I'm gonna eat that! Reporting for duty.
Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 27 of The Angry Chicken, the Hearthstone podcast. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and I am joined, as I always am, by Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. Guys,
Hello.
how you doing? Welcome back.
I'm just glad Jocelyn's here.
I know you
I
missed
missed
me.
her. I did this other show that she wasn't a part of, and oh man, it was just not the same.
I know.
But
I
you
know.
took the casual Jocelyn seat. So
I did,
it was
actually.
it was
Jocelyn, I'll have you know, on Into the Nexus, I am the Jocelyn of that show.
and not even self-proclaimed, like chat
Which
room.
means you're the most awesome, right?
Chat room
yeah,
proclaimed him.
the prettiest, the most awesome. I look over my shoulder the whole time. It's all of those things. All
Do
in
that.
Your
Well, you do
Skype,
in the one
your
picture.
Skype
that
image when
everyone-
your camera
Oh.
isn't working.
I was like, I'm looking
Is
right
actually-
camera.
But I'm the least experienced at MOBA style games, so I'm constantly the one like asking what stuff means and trying to be like, well, you don't have to play that way, right? You can play another way.
See, it's
Eye
a
for an eye?
tough job, isn't it?
I know
Oh,
it's not easy.
And then
Not
Kyle
easy.
and then
It's
Kyle
something I
comes
have
in.
A lot of respect.
And then Kyle comes in with his years of MOBA experience. Like, no, that's actually just straight up wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Don't do it that way.
now
That would
you
be
know
the
how
wrong
that
way.
feels.
Yeah, exactly.
MOBAs are definitely less casual, but Blizzard has found a way to make it more casual friendly.
Yeah, casual friendly, but I still think I think it's going to be very competitive as well. So
Oh,
I'm excited about that show.
I
Yeah.
believe so as well. Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, Into the Nexus, it's a new Heroes of the Storm podcast that Dills and I started up with my good friend Kyle from Starcast, where we
Kyle,
talk about
shout out.
where we
Shout
talk
out to
about that. Yeah, Kyle. He's not as pretty as Jocelyn. I think that's what
Debatable.
Dills is. He's,
Kyle is very pretty.
I have stared into his eyes for hours on end, and you can get lost in them. But nonetheless,
See, if Jocelyn were to grow a beard, then maybe we could
trying,
compare.
it just
the
won't
two.
come in.
Yeah, I know you're working on it. I know. Yeah.
yeah. But go check it out if you're interested at all in Heroes of the Storm. If you like this show, you'll probably like that one. So thanks everyone who has already done so. Anyways, it's another week. There's been plenty of Hearthstone jazz going down thanks to PAX East. And, well, we're going to get right into it with this week's news.
Good news, everyone!
The curse of Naxxramas is almost upon us. This was announced over at PAX East this past weekend. I believe it was Friday morning, to be specific.
Did you guys watch the announcement stuff too?
You
No,
actually, like,
some of
watch
us
it?
have
Couldn't
big
watch
people
it.
work.
You couldn't watch it. It wasn't
like
streamed.
me. Hello? Yeah. I
wa-
watched it and it was awkward. I don't know if you guys
Oh, you
watched
did?
it. It was
How
awkward.
did you watch it? I couldn't find a stream anywhere.
I just found it on YouTube. Apparently, there was a lot of stuff streamed to Twitch, but I just found it on when they actually started announcing stuff on YouTube, and it was just really there was a lot of background noise, and it didn't seem like they were on a full panel on a stage. It was just kind of chilling in front of some people on the floor.
Well, I
so
know
it was just kind of weird and hard to hear everything, and it was bizarre.
I know a lot of the stuff that happens at PAX is a little more low key. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
what's cool about it. It's a little more approachable.
Yeah. That
But,
might be why it seemed weird, because
yeah.
I'm used to
Well, the last time,
It's like,
yeah, exactly. The last time you and I,
just not BlizzCon.
yeah, not nearly. Yeah, but no, I mean, it was exciting to see all the stuff. It was just like I was like straining. I'd like turned it up all the way. I'm like, come on, I want to hear Eric Dodds. I want to hear what he has to say. And it was, you know, it was just a little.
I thought you were just going to
but...
say it's awkward because Team 5 still wears their T-shirts tucked in.
That's true. Yeah,
Guys,
the tucked in Hearthstone T-shirts.
I know we have a couple fans on the team. What's up with that?
Loosen up, guys. Loosen it up.
Like,
yeah.
like, I don't
let it fly, dude. It's cool. No
okay.
one's gonna
And
judge
also,
you.
when is Team 5 going to get those badass button downs that the Warcraft and StarCraft team has?
Good point. Actually,
very good point.
They deserve them for sure. This isn't in the news, but this was a story I saw where the estimates were that Hearthstone may bring in $30 million in the first year.
Wow.
Based on the initial results.
That's
so
great.
That's impressive.
I'm so happy about that.
I think they could probably spring for some button downs with that kind of cash.
Dude, I'm so happy about that. I mean, this game is just sitting that I'm really glad at its success. So, anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get into this.
So yeah, the headline.
This is big time.
Hearthstone's first adventure that's coming for adventure mode was announced this past Friday. It's the Curse of Naxxramas, and it is way more on the nose, like a 1-to-1 representation of the raid of Naxxramas from World of Warcraft than I was expecting it to be.
Karazhan.
And that's what?
Karazhan.
What about?
Were we expecting Karazhan first? Didn't we talk about this on the show?
I don't think.
It was not this show.
I don't think
No. We talked about this, didn't we? I swear we did. We talked about how like it would be awesome if the first PvE thing was Karazhan.
I don't remember that
maybe
at
it
all.
wasn't this show. Maybe it was just when we were like hanging out. But
possibly.
I was actually surprised it was Nax first. I thought it was going to be Karazhan.
Isn't that like, because I mean, I'm not a huge, obviously I only just started raiding in WoW, like literally 3 weeks ago. So like, no, seriously. So Naxxramas to me, it's not a thing. So, but I've heard like every other WoW player has talked about this raid. So to me, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, of course, because that's the raid that everybody always talks about all the time.
Well, the one everyone talks about is Ulduar because nothing will ever be better than Ulduar.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of
Ulduar was the
that.
best raid of all time, but weren't
there like two different versions of Naxxramas?
Yeah,
Yes.
Naxxas existed twice. It existed
It was
in
the final raid in
Vanilla
Vanilla,
WoW, right?
It was the final raid in Vanilla, and it was the first raid in Wrath of the Lich King.
In Wrath of the Lich King, yeah. So it's had two kind of. I mean, it's definitely an iconic raid because when you got into Wrath of the Lich King, like we raided Nax pretty hard for several months, and like there's a lot of stuff in there that everyone's gonna remember, like the safety dance with Hygen. You're going to remember the slime boss. You're going to remember, like, the spider shooting you against the walls. You remember all this stuff.
I
very
hope
distinctly.
somebody has a 1/1 cat minion that when I kill it, Kel'Thuzad yells at me. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I think so. So Tapperb, I was actually just going to ask this question. Tapperb in the chat says, first should have been Molten Core. Like, do you guys think Nax makes sense as the very first PvE raid content in Hearthstone?
Because of the way they're doing it, I do believe so. Because I believe I'm correct, but I never did ZG.
Yeah.
But
okay, what's
I believe Naxxramas.
Zul'Gurub.
Oh, okay.
I believe Naxxramas was the first winged raid. Raid that had separate wings.
You know, yeah, Molten Core was definitely more of a linear experience. But I'll say this though, I feel like the reason why Molten Core would have made a lot of sense, and you know, it's fine. Like the wing thing is one thing, and I get that makes more sense that's why they chose this one. But Molten Core is like the original big raid that everyone was gearing up for an extended period of time, and everyone who played Vanilla WoW is going to remember that one as being the one. You know,
that's
of course Ragnaros. But that's the other thing is Ragnaros is already a card, right?
That's what I was going to counter with is I think they wanted something that's completely different flavor wise from anything that exists in the game right now.
Sure.
So I think for
this makes a lot of sense. Hygen is not a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
the Four Horsemen, not a card.
Well, and it also really with the wing system. I mean, like I have been in here pet hunting before. So, I mean, I do know that there's like the different quarters. So it really lends itself to themed cards where I'm not that familiar with some of the other earlier raids, but if you don't have specific wings with specific themes, then I can see how that would be difficult to translate into Hearthstone. So if everything in Molten Core is just all fire all the time, I mean, I guess you could have flame cards, but still,
we already have
like
a lot of those. We already have a lot of those. It's also like I think Nax is just different enough and has a strong enough theme that I think this is. I don't know. I think it makes sense.
No, I totally agree. I think that this is actually a really good one to start with. I just think it's like it maybe wasn't the one we all expected. Like I thought Karazhan would have been great because I think Karazhan was actually, you know, in BC, it was one of the first raids a lot of people did where they were like, oh, okay, this is raiding. And Karazhan was the thing for such a long time.
That was my first raid, and also like one of the longest raiding experiences because my guild was terrible.
Well, but it was a huge place, right? And there was like multiple levels, and there was so many different styles of boss. But the thing that Nax really does have going for it, which Jocelyn you brought up, is the winged aspect and having, you know, there's the 4 quarters and then there's the final boss. So then when you introduce it here, you've got that ability to go, okay, we're going to release it wing by wing, and then you kill this boss, then you move on to this boss. So there's going to really feel like progression, which would be hard to do in Hearthstone without that type of winged aspect. Like if it was just linear, it would really be hard to make it feel right, I think. And like Kel'Thuzad being the final boss and all of that, like I think it's going to be amazing. But I just think it was. I didn't expect it. Yeah. When I first saw it was Nax, I was like, "Whoa, okay." I mean, I was on board.
I was going to say, were you excited or were you like, "Oh man, yes. Nax, really?"
I am so excited. Nax was really fun when I first dinged 80 and went into Nax, and I mean that was one of the best raiding experiences of my raiding career was Nax because it was just so cool at the time. I mean, everything was awesome in there. And there's a lot of, like, I can see a lot of things in this being, like, they can actually bring in some of the aspects of that and fit them into Hearthstone play. So, like, the Hagen thing, I've already seen, like, it does 2 damage. Well, okay, never mind. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
For people who aren't
like Garrett Dills.
I feel like there's some listeners who are probably still going, "What the hell are they talking about wings for?" Because we haven't actually
talking about. Yeah, we played a lot of WoW.
Talked about that. We're friends. Played a lot of WoW. It happens. But yeah, basically this in-game card raid, Naxxramas, is going to have 5 wings, and by that we mean there's 5 different sections that you can play through. And it's actually going to release 1 week at a time over the course of 5 weeks.
Which, that's very similar to the WoW model, right? Like, again...
How it is now, not how it was back in the day.
The current one. Yeah, Nax wasn't like this when it first came out.
No,
Nax just went in and just did it as fast as he could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But nowadays, they do this kind of, like, timed release thing where you get 1 wing and then later you get another and stuff like that.
Was Ice Crown the first one they did that with, or was Old War?
I think it was actually ICC. Yeah, ICC was because Old War you could go in, you could just do the whole damn thing, but then there was the heroic modes where
that's right.
Push
and all. Yeah, because there was wings sort of in Old War, but anyways, that doesn't matter. The first wing that's going to be open is the Arachnid Quarter, and it's going to be available
as it should be
for free, and which immediately ears perked up free. Every other wing following that, all other 4 wings are going to cost real money or in-game gold. And we have no idea what those are going to cost. They haven't said it.
Predictions. Speculation. Let's
go. Same price as Arena.
I have no idea.
Really? I'm guessing that they're going to do $3 a wing or 300 gold.
You think it's going to be more expensive than Arena?
You get guaranteed legendaries.
You get a legendary. So, or at least that's.
I think it's gonna be more like. I'm thinking more like 5 a wing.
I think 3 because then you're talking about $12 for the whole damn thing, or enough gold like that you can actually earn.
I think that they have to make it hard enough that it doesn't take you just one time to beat it. So I really think that they're gonna have to keep that cost down because if you put it up at like 300 or 500 gold per try, people are going to stop
Well,
trying.
it's not per try. They've already said that. It's you open it and then you have it.
Oh, okay.
I tweeted at Ben Brode about this because I had a couple questions, and I asked him like, so can I craft these cards, or is this the only way to earn them? He said, no, this is the only way to earn them is to complete this content. And once you open the wing, that wing is open. So
right, okay.
That's why
Someone's
I think it's going to be $3.
Well, then I take it back. It's not
Yeah.
going to be that cheap.
Because you pay for arena with 150 gold or 99 cents. I feel like this is like you're okay. So you're definitely going to get like a good card at the end of this. It's going to be worth it to everybody because when you do arena, I get a pack of stuff I already have now. So this could definitely be costed a little higher.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's the legendaries that you're getting at the end of your wing that's like kind of throwing me off. Like I'm not sure, are they gonna price it where it's like equivalent to 1,600 dust, because that would be exceptionally expensive. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what you just said, if it's gonna be the only way to get it is through this, and you can kind of cut the cost, because then if you can't craft it anyway, you don't really need to make it equivalent to 1,600 dust.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? The chat room is kind of bringing up the idea of increasing cost for each wing. Do you think it's going to be costed differently, or do you think it might just be the same across the board?
I think same.
I would think it'd be the same across the board. I mean, especially if you're getting the equal amount of cards with the equal amount of rarity per card. I don't see any reason why it would cost more or less. All legendaries cost the same. All rares cost the same. All epics cost the same. Why would the wings be any different?
I mean, I think that they could go with some sort of like escalating price and people would probably pay it, but I don't think that's the model they're going to shoot for. I think we're going to see $3 per wing, open the wing, go through, buy the next wing, go through, and then you could see maybe like $3 per wing or $10 to open them all, type of thing.
I would love to see like a quote unquote season pass. Kind of thing.
Like you own Naxxramas now, go play.
Yeah. I don't know, since they're not offering any kind of bundle deal on Heroes in Heroes of the Storm. I'm not. Yeah. I'm less inclined to believe they'll actually do something like that for adventures in Hearthstone. Yeah. But
if they did, they would have to do it after everything is already released. I think it would have to be, if you want it right up front, then you pay the whatever $3-5, however much gold, whatever, and then if you want to get the bundle, you have to wait those 5 weeks for everything to come out.
Well,
and then they say,
that's
okay,
the thing.
Yeah, now you can have it.
I think what they would do if there was some sort of a bundle package is you would buy the package, but you would still have to wait for the wings to open. Like I could buy the package whenever I want.
That's what most episodic games are doing. I mean, I dropped $25 on The Walking Dead Season 2, and I'm going to get every episode as it rolls out. A lot of games do that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I really do think I think $2.99 is like the price point that would just pop for like everybody. Like it wouldn't feel that expensive. Whereas if it's $4.99, people who are like kind of half in, half out, maybe not so sure, still don't have a lot of cards yet, they may not really look at that as being worth their time, especially if it's difficult, and it's supposed to be difficult. So the difficulty makes it maybe more of a barrier. So then if there's also a price barrier, then I think some people are going to be like, nah, I'm not doing this. The way they could get around that is make the first wing incredibly easy. And then everyone goes, oh, cool, I can totally do this. But I do think, personally, and I'm hoping that my Dillstradamus hat is on correctly here, $2.99 or 300 gold. I really hope that that's where they end up landing. Because then it's actually still, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just going to say that for now, and then we'll see what happens. But
yeah. I'm really hoping for like a season pass type thing, because obviously I'm going to want to play all these damn things. I'd like to get $3-5 off.
$10 for all of them, right? You'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah. I buy 2 packs of Magic cards without even blinking an eye. So bring it on.
Yeah. Well, also if they do that though, they'd have to offer some sort of gold price for it too, right? So it'd be like $10 or like 1,500 gold or something. I mean, I'd just jump right on it, whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to do it. They got me. They got us.
Well,
that's true. We're probably not the right people to ask. So will you? Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. What do you charge
if
you
Firstborn? Okay, yeah, they're a long way away. That's fine.
Yeah, if the majority of the players were all people doing weekly radio shows about the game itself, I think they'd be less worried. But I don't think we're the norm.
No.
Let's put it out there. Other things they were talking about, obviously the big thing here, the draw, is the bosses. We're going to be playing against named bosses, iconic bosses from Naxxramas. If you're a WoW player and you've played through Naxxramas, you're going to recognize a lot of these names. They mentioned specifically by name, Maxena, Lotheb, Patchwork, Hygen. Can't wait to do the Hygen dance. Well, although you're not really doing the Hygen dance.
I'm looking forward to 4 horsemen, right? 4 horsemen.
I'm really curious how they're going to do that. Are we going to be like, is it going to be like four portraits up there?
4
like
portraits?
That
would be so sick, right?
Or like the hero power changes it to another random horseman.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if they have that, but I know they have Patchwork. I know they have Hygen. And I know they have Maxena. And I know they have Kel'Thuzad. And I'm guessing we'd see Thaddeus as well, right? Because these are Thaddeus was one of the big final bosses, and it's like lightning boss and all that. So, but we might not see one of those because we might. So Patchwork, they said, was in there, and Patchwork is like the first boss in that wing. Thaddeus is the last boss, so we might see Sephiron and Kel'Thuzad as the final 2.
Well, they said that.
So I don't know.
They said just like the raid itself, you have to complete all 4 wings before that final wing with Sephiron and Kel'Thuzad opens up.
Okay, so those 2 would probably be in those. Okay, so they would be in the final wing. Okay,
right.
That makes sense then. So if it's a couple bosses per, because I can't see doing all the bosses. Is that really how it's going to work? All of them? That seems like a lot of fights. I mean, I'm in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they're going to do full wings and they want to give you your money's worth, I think it can't just be 1 boss fight per wing.
3 bosses per wing. Why not?
Yeah.
It goes 3, 3, 3, 4, and then 2. That's a lot of boss fights. Oh man. Okay.
It's all right. This is
Dills
sounding
is even more on board now.
This is sounding like it's going to be a lot of content.
Yeah.
It is.
And
it has to be.
And I'm all for it. And yeah, this is sounding like more and more giving me like really wanting like an offline mode when this thing is on iPad, so that when like I'm in the air, I'm like, well, I want to try go back and complete some of the weird achievements for adventure mode.
Yeah. Yeah. And they actually did say that they're giving you like a special deck to fight against these bosses if you do the class specific stuff. So like if I say I want to do it with a hunter, they give me a hunter deck and I have to fight them with that hunter. So it's not like I build my deck to go in and fight them.
Oh, I missed that little tidbit. That's cool.
So that actually makes a lot of sense for an offline mode, right? Because they don't have to know what cards I already have because this is the deck I already get. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, very cool. They gave some examples of a boss, specifically Hygen. We keep talking about the Hygen dance. Now, it's not really a dance in this so much, but its hero power is Eruption, which deals 2 damage to the leftmost enemy minion.
Yeah. So put your Yetis on the left.
Yeah, you're going to constantly be putting like your highest health minions, I'm assuming, all the way to the left.
Because you know they have to last a couple turns, and that's OP as hell, first of all. But it's at least something you can play around, right? So like I could like put a shield bearer on the left to protect my other dudes, kind of, or whatever, I could finagle that a little bit. So that's interesting to me, to really bring in like minion placement as a major mechanic in this stuff.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll also be, since you'll be able, you can choose where you drop your minions. You can play with your curve. You could drop a minion on 3 that has Divine Shield, and then on turn 4, drop your Shield Master in the leftmost position, and kind of cycle through that way. And it's not that bad when you think about it. I mean, a mage does 1 damage, but it can do it anywhere it wants. This is 2 damage, and it's only to the leftmost. So you can definitely...
Yeah.
This is made so it can be beaten.
Spaz Wesson says, your left or his left? It has to be your left.
That's a valid question.
It has to be your left.
It's your left. It's your left.
It's your left.
As you look at it. They don't need to worry about that because the other player isn't really a player. It's an AI, and the board. The only time you're ever seeing the board is from the player's perspective.
Exactly.
But that was literally the first question that popped into my head when I saw this. Is like, who's left? His left, my left?
No, it's your left.
Some people out there will probably make this mistake. I feel bad for those people in a mental capacity.
I really hope that you go into this boss fight and you put one down on the left and he hits you on your right.
That'd be so great.
That would be amazing.
That would be like the Blizzard troll of all time. They'd be like, nope, it's actually his left.
It's his left. Well, if you think about it, as you're sitting down at a table in an inn playing a card game, then there's different players and they look at the board different ways.
I know, but you're not playing against another player. You're playing against an AI.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the discussion I had with Katie the very first time she played. She's like, can they see me shooting the rocks at them with the catapult? I'm like, no, it's a mirror image no matter what's going on. Oh, that sucks. I know.
that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was no good. So anyway, new cards, obviously what we're all excited about. You know, they specifically said, yeah, as you progress, you're going to unlock new Hearthstone cards. In total, there will be 30 new cards being added to the game. So there you go. There's your final number of the total amount of cards. And the completion of each wing will reward you with a guaranteed new legendary card. So that makes 5 new legendaries going to be being added to the game. Yeah. One of which was actually previewed was Baron Rivendare, which even though Four Horsemen wasn't quote unquote like revealed as a boss, like Baron being there makes me think, well, the Four Horsemen are going to be one of the bosses, and he's what you're going to get for beating them because he's one of the Four Horsemen. Did you ever do that fight, Jocelyn?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, Baron Rivendare is one of the Four Horsemen.
I feel like there was one quarter that I couldn't do because the first boss is like impossible to solo because of his mechanic. Or maybe that was one of the, I can't remember. Anyways, he's like a dragon dude that you have to like control him, and like one person has to control him and one person has to like DPS the ads. And I thought that was in this raid, but it might have been in one of the other old ones.
Instructor Vesuvius, who is not a dragon, you have to control his instructees. That was probably it. Maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was some aspect of like control and DPS at the same time.
She's trying to figure out a boss she couldn't solo because of some mechanic. I mean, Patchwork is really freaking hard to solo.
Vesuvius has the 2 big dudes who attack you unless you mind control them.
Although you can just attack Vesuvius, and at this point,
you just murder him before he does anything. Yeah. I don't know, actually, now what would be the big problem. Maybe it would be the dog, because the dog like goes invulnerable for a little while. I don't know.
No, I
think it's...
No, the dog was fine?
3 of them, yeah, the dog was fine.
Oh, you know what? It could be Thaddeus, because you have to like go on other sides, and then you get shocked if you don't have players on...
Chat room is screaming black.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Didn't do the Four Horsemen.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, anyway. 4 Horsemen, you just gather them all up and just kill
boom,
them. Yeah.
Done. Good night.
Doesn't even matter anymore.
Anyway, so some of the cards that were previewed, starting with Baron Rivendare, he's going to cost 4 mana. He has 1 attack, but he has 7 health. However, your minions trigger their death rattles twice.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this card.
I am too.
Oh my god, I want this card right now.
Combo him with Cairn.
Can I just say, by the way, that this is ridiculous? That he's 4 mana, 1 attack, 7 health, and there's a card in the game currently that is 4 mana, 1 attack, 7 health, that just has taunt, and that's and that's what it has. And then this guy has this.
Well, he is a legendary.
He is.
Okay,
and they're supposed to be legendary for a reason, apparently. Balance was out the window.
Sure.
They're supposed to be cool.
But that card now seems terrible.
Well, you can have 2. Terrible. You can have 2 of that card in your deck. You can't have 2 of this in your deck. So
that's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Drop your Golem on 3, drop Baron on 4, and watch your opponent shit his pants.
Cry.
There's gonna be so many sweet Deathrattle decks, though. I'm like already.
Oh my god! Roland Kosh in the chat room mentions what I didn't even think of. Sylvanas steals 2 people.
Yep, Sylvanas steals 2. Loot Hoarders draw 2 cards.
This one card makes it so you could make like a Deathrattle tribal deck.
Yeah. And you can't have enough Spellbreakers to counteract all them Deathrattles. So at some point, and the fact that it's only 4 mana to play it means I can play it and then trigger my own Deathrattles that same turn. So
this
even
also...
if you silence my Baron Rivendare, I will still get the double Deathrattle at some point in the game,
Yeah, this gives me.
sick.
This also gives us the title of our next Hearthstone podcast spinoff: Two Banes, a Cairn, and a Pizza Place.
That's right. Yeah, you play Cairn, get 2 Banes in return.
Jeez.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Although you'll never see the Beast played in any of these decks because you're like, wait a minute, I just gave you 2 3/3s. What the hell did I just do? Yeah, Leper Gnomes doing 4 damage on death. Loot Hoarders. I mean,
anything that has Deathrattle immediately shoots up in quality if you have a Baron in your deck.
Yeah. And how about actually,
there's that Druid card that gives all your cards that Deathrattle of summon a 2/2 treant. So you could just have like your entire board fill up with
flood your board so
you
quick.
fill your board up with 2/2s.
You flood your board really fast with that.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to this card. I'm looking forward to what this card does to the meta. It's gonna I predict right now, Ironbeak Owls and Spellbreakers blow the hell up. They're everywhere.
Anything with silence, yeah.
You got to get rid of the damn Deathrattle, yeah. And Druids are gonna suddenly become really good because they already have a good card that has silence. So, yeah, it's gonna be.
You mean Druids are gonna stay good? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, they're gonna stay good. Yeah, but they've dropped a little bit.
They have, but they're still. I mean, I was watching Savitz earlier today, and he's still rocking the Druid. But,
sure.
Anyways, Nerubian Egg, another card. It costs 2 mana, has no attack, only 2 health. However, it has a Deathrattle. Summon a 4/4 Nerubian.
Sure.
So, hey, could you please kill this guy, opponent? Hey, I'd really appreciate it if you would kill this guy, preferably on turn 3. That would be wonderful.
So here's the deal with this guy is you'll play him, your opponent will ignore him, hoping that, you never summon that 4/4, and then you will have to buff him to then be able to attack with him.
Exactly.
What's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting card too. I'm not sure if this is going to end up making it into a lot of decks. Just because
I could already see this synergizing into Zoodlock effortlessly because there's so many buff cards.
All the cards buff, so you can actually play this guy, then buff him. So it's like you'll probably just drop shield bearers and put this guy in instead because he basically is like a better shield bearer who dies and then summons. I mean, yes, he doesn't have taunt, but what he does have is so much better. I mean, I don't know. There's going to be some interesting ways to make this guy work, but yeah, when you're playing another deck, you're going to just try to ignore it and hope that it doesn't end up becoming a 4/4.
And then again,
it's going to make a lot of people try to kind of think about whether they're going to do some kind of board clearing play, because if you go to clear the board, I mean, it's only got 2 health, so it's going to die to a lot of those mass clearing cards.
This is your Consecrate insurance, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, Uther, you want to play that? You want to play that Consecrate?
Huh? Go ahead.
You sure? Because I also have a Baron up, so enjoy your 4/4 Nerubians. It's got 2 eggs on the board.
Yeah, how about that? You play a Knife Juggalo, then you play a Nerubian Egg next to it, and you're like, go ahead, consecrate me, dude. What's up?
Do it. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, I can't wait to play this and just thumb my nose at the flame strikes. Just yeah. Give me those 4/4s.
That's true. This might be a nerf to mages again.
To AoE.
Although I'm really curious to see too how these cards factor in when it comes to arena, because it's a completely different thing. I can kind of look at it in constructed, but I really have no idea how these cards are going to affect arena right now.
And everybody gets them. You don't have to beat the wings to get them in arena. So from
arena,
day one, they're just there. Yeah. So
yeah.
Arena's
going to be an incentive to play arena before you can do the other stuff, because you're like, well, let me try these cards out.
I was about to say, Arena's going to be a really fun place these 5 weeks. It's going to be the new frontier. Moving on, Undertaker. Undertaker costs 1 mana, has 1 attack and 2 health. Whenever you summon a minion with Deathrattle, gain +1/+1.
So Secret Keeper for the Deathrattle decks, basically. Yeah. Although this is even better than Secret Keeper, because in all the decks where Secret Keeper works, which is really just Hunter that one Hunter deck. I mean, even in the Mage deck with all the secrets, those secrets cost too much, and it's tough to get that many secrets out. Whereas in this, in a Deathrattle deck, you could probably have almost your entire deck have Deathrattles. So as a 1-mana, like play this on turn 1. He's a 1/2. Then on turn 2 you play Loot Hoarder. Now you have a 2/3. Then on turn 3 you play a Harvest Golem. Now you have, you know, 3/4. Like, just continue on. Like, blow up the crap out of this
I'm
guy.
very excited about my Deathrattle deck that is absolutely happening after this adventure comes out.
That's gonna be the entire ladder.
It's going to be the new Murloc deck. It's going to take...
No, it's not. This is
Yes,
actually going to
it
be
is.
cool, though.
This is cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, but it
Murlocs
is
are not
something
cool.
that is going to synergize really, really, really easily. It's going to be almost a no-brainer.
No, but I'm gonna say, you know, not everyone plays Murloc because a lot more people who play Hearthstone have souls.
True that.
So
True that.
there you go. Moving on, Shade of Naxxramas costs 3 mana, has 2 attack and 2 health, so a 2/2 for 3. However, also has stealth. Okay, better. At the start of your turn, gain +1/+1. Much better. I like this card.
Yeah, so this guy's basically a 3/3 for 3 that starts stealth and then gruels on you a little bit. He's not technically. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you could kill him with AoE before he unstealths.
You need 1 turn, yeah, before he's a 3/3.
Yeah, but in general, he'll come out as a 3/3 for 3. So, I personally feel like what this guy is like an always better. What's the 4/2 with stealth? The Panther. He's like an always better Jungle Panther almost, because Jungle Panther generally like does what he's supposed to do, which is trade up. But this card can trade up and then generally stay on the board, right?
Yeah, and that's the other funny thing too is, you know, we were just talking about all of these incentives to run Deathrattle being a deterrent to board clears. So if you're running your anti-board clear deck and you throw this guy in, he's like this insurance policy. Like, I'm just going to stick him there and see if I can bait out your board clear so I get all my Deathrattles to pop.
Yeah.
Because you don't even attack with him.
Yeah.
You just let him keep growing.
Yeah. Undead Goat doesn't want me to use gruel as a verb. I'm going to use... No, this guy...
You're going to use gruel however you want to use
gruels
gruel.
like crazy. This guy is mini gruel. He just gruels all up in your face.
He's grueling all over the place. He's grueling like crazy. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that is what that Jungle Panther does, is like you put him out and you go, okay, I hope that he doesn't die to AoE. And if he doesn't, then he's really good. And this card is going to be like similar, and then also I can trade and stay alive and continue to gruel.
We also, because Undead Go doesn't like it so much, have the show title for today.
Continuing to gruel.
I was going to go with grueling all over the place, but all right.
Grueling all over the place.
Finally, the final deck card that was previewed is Dancing Swords. It's a 3-mana card. It's 4 attack, 4 health. What? I'm sorry. I'm already playing this. Oh, there's text too? All right, Deathrattle. Your opponent draws a card. Ooh, okay.
But it is a Deathrattle, so it goes with a lot of the other things, but
not
the triggering
good aggressive
part.
card, I guess, if you're playing an aggro.
The jury's out on this one.
Yeah.
Jury's out on this one. Right, so like, I imagine this card working well where you gain some sort of buff because of the Deathrattle already. So the opponent drawing the card is like less bad. Right? So like, if I'm already like playing an Undertaker and then I play Dancing Swords, well, my Undertaker got buffed, so giving you a card isn't so bad. And then we're also going to see like mill decks use this. This will be a new deck or a new card for the mill decks. Who try to do the which are not good, by the way.
No, they're terrible. Don't do it.
Yeah, but you know, the guys who play the Cold Light Oracles and they play Mukla and all that stuff, they try to give the opponent cards. There you go. No new way to give the opponent cards. Yeah. So have fun. He's just a fun card, I think. And they have to put in some fun cards.
I think there'll be a lot of instances in Arena where you're going to pick this card.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. If you like, you know, if you're like 15 cards in and you look at your deck and you're like, this is looking pretty aggressive, I should probably just keep going aggressive, and you get, okay, it's a 4/4 for 3.
He is aggressive as hell, man. You're right.
Probably just do it. I mean, to drop a 4/4 on turn 3 without a coin or anything, that's
like the only other 4/4 for cheap is Millhouse Manastorm for 2, and the effect that does is, I think, probably far worse than giving a card.
Millhouse
right?
is sitting at the same reject table in the cafeteria as Eye for an Eye in my book.
Yeah.
Poor Eye for an Eye.
Yeah. Millhouse and Eye
Has
for
to
an
hang
Eye.
out with Millhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Millhouse Manastorm.
So, okay, these were the 5 cards they gave us, right? Now, we know there are 30, and we know that there are class challenges as well. So, I want to get your guys' take. This is my prediction. I'm going to Dilstradamus us again here. I think we're going to get 2 class cards per. So, we're going to get 18 class cards, leaving 12 neutral cards. What do you guys think? Do you think that's somewhere in the range of reality?
I think 21 and 9.
21 and 9.
Yeah.
So you
3.
think 1 class card and
No, wait.
and 21 neutral cards? Because
Yes.
there's 9 classes. So if there's 2 class specific cards, then that only leaves 12. So
yeah,
you're
no,
saying
I don't think that they're going to give us that many. I think you're going to get a new card for completing a class challenge.
Okay. The reason I think 2 class cards makes a lot of sense is because I think that a lot of the classes have room. Like currently, the class cards are a much smaller pool in general. So
Right.
there's more room for more cards that are class specific, I think, at this point. And they can make more of an adjustment to, like, Priest could get 2 really strong cards here and suddenly, like, come back. And,
Well, yeah,
you know,
but with all of this,
warlocks and
with all of this Deathrattle talk, though, I mean, there's priests have Mass Dispel, which no one's using right now, but you can silence the entire enemy board
wow.
with 1 card.
Wow.
So this is
Jocelyn
kind of
just broke my brain. Where I'd totally forgotten about Mass Dispel.
Jocelyn just out-dillsed Dills.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just used Dills as a
Mass
verb.
Dispel is going to be like the new hotness. You're right. Okay.
it happens every once in a while.
Okay. Good on you, Jocelyn.
So
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that that's a buff to priests in and of itself. I mean, I think that they're introducing new cards into the game. They will probably do something along the lines of keeping the ratio pretty much the same. Like, they're not going to way overload on the class specific stuff. They're going to load up on the neutral stuff to give everybody more options and not force people to stay in classes.
Okay. I'm in. I think you're
I am rocking it this week.
I think you're definitely have a viable point, and I think that could be the way they go too. I'm going to still stick with my prediction.
I was about to say,
18 class cards, 12 neutrals. That's what I'm sticking with.
Gotcha.
What about you, Garrett? Tiebreaker.
I feel like I'm leaning towards Dills, but that I do not want that at all to diminish the freaking knowledge bomb you just dropped. Like, yeah. So
see, the thing is like,
in chat I'm
Mass
saying that
Dispel
they
falls
think they
into
heard they think they heard someone say 9 class cards, but I never found anything that I could cite.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I cannot say for sure that I saw that anywhere, and I've been looking. But I actually I'm going to give myself an excuse here. I consider Mass Dispel to not exist at this point in time because it is so crappy that I just forgot it was a card that was in the game. So give myself a pass on that one.
Fair enough.
There are some cards in the game where I'm like, yeah, I don't even consider that card.
How humble of you to give yourself a pass.
Yeah.
Giving myself a pass on this
All
one.
right.
Because,
Plus
yeah,
it's
but
Priest, and
Jocelyn,
who plays those, you know?
I should have been smarter and I should have remembered that. Yeah. But it's just, yeah, it's one of those cards that's like a non-card anymore. Like and it's probably my own, like, I have too much of I'm too, like, hard-headed about what's good and bad. So it's all going to change when all this stuff comes out.
It's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for new cards. It's like
me too.
I feel like I'm 9 again, staring at the freaking Christmas tree, and I know that big box is a Slave 1 with a Boba Fett action figure, but I can't open it yet. Bring it on, Blizzard. Okay, so I feel like we touched on all the big stuff.
We did,
right?
Yeah.
BlizzPro got to sit down and had a good interview with the guys from Team 5. They got to talk a little bit about non-Nax tidbits, and some of the highlights for that were that there are no plans in place for legendary cards outside of minions, so we're not going to get legendary weapons or
legendary
spells.
Yeah.
So, okay,
I know
guess.
people have said like, oh, Pyroblast should stay at 8 mana but be legendary. Like, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
That makes me really sad for when the Death Knight eventually happens, because I was hoping for a legendary Frostmourne.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think that they're like completely saying that's never going to happen, but right now,
They just said no plans are in place. Yeah, I mean, if Gorehowl isn't considered legendary, because in the lore of things, like Gorehowl's kind of
sure.
the hot business. So I because that really is like the only famous named weapon from Warcraft that we currently have. We don't have an Ashbringer.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrion gives you Ashbringer, so does that technically make Ashbringer legendary?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So Ashbringer is in the game. It's
because
just
that's
not
the only
its
way
own
to
card.
get it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe it'll just be an Arthas card, and he will give you Frostmourne when he dies. So he can be like the Tyrion antithesis. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that could work.
Neutral weapons are not on the to-do list. They want to make the classes feel like the WoW classes. Okay.
Makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
I still want weapons for all the classes at some point, though. Like, I want a spell power weapon.
Like a wand or a
one
staff?
that you can't swing with.
Yeah, I want a spell power weapon that buffs your spells, but loses durability every time you cast a spell, but buffs your spell.
That makes sense. Cool. That'd be pretty much the same.
So it'd be like, it'd be a staff for a mage, where if I have that equipped, so what it means is that it does a few things. Like it's not a minion that can be killed, so you can't like kill my spell power minion. So it's spell power that can't be killed on board, and then it's also my ooze is now good against mages. You know what I mean? Like I think that it makes sense, and it could be really cool. So we'll see if they one day go that route.
So would you have
it? Then would depend on two different cards, though. It would depend on you having the staff to play in the first place, but then also having a spell in your hand versus a weapon that is just one card. You play it and you attack.
Well, but you could also attack with it. That's the thing. Like, so it could be like
okay. Yeah,
it could be like the Sword of Justice, where it's like it's crappy to attack with it, but it's still okay sometimes. Like it's still, I use up a durability that's going to buff my dude, but it's still worth it to get that guy off the board if that's my option there. So and like maybe for a priest, you could have some sort of a healing staff where when I play a minion, or like I can use it on my own guys to heal them, or you could do all sorts of things that fall into the classes where it still is like representing their class. But it's a different style weapon. So you'd probably see more of those be one attack, lots of durability type weapons. So there could be some ideas there. And I'm sure we'll get into that far down the road, but I want to see something like that. I think it would be really cool.
I agree. They also said that now that the game is out of beta, it's better to give players new tools to deal with certain cards rather than adjusting existing cards. This excites me and makes me really wonder about what the other 25 cards that we haven't gotten really to take a look at are.
Yeah, and we knew this already too, because they said
yeah.
when they nerfed the last bunch of cards, they were like, "This is the last real nerf.
Yeah,
we're not changing the cards anymore unless it's like must be changed."
Yeah.
So rather than nerf cards, it's like, "Oh no, here we'll fix it by giving you a new card that counters that or whatever." So, we're not going to see any more. Like, so you guys could just like kind of stop QQing about somebody being overpowered. It's just
wait for guys, stop getting in line twice. Come on.
Yeah, stop queuing up twice.
Oh, Jocelyn, you were on such a roll today. They said
call back, Garrett. Come on, I know what it means now.
Additional creature types are definitely going to be showing up in the future. So more Murlocs, more pirates. I don't want more Murlocs and more pirates. I want new creature types. Like I want something that takes advantage of the dragon affix on my cards.
Yeah. Dragons.
Or give me gnolls or trogs.
Dragons, dwarves,
or,
all this stuff. Elves.
Yeah. Like why don't we have like races as an affix?
Yeah,
like
it's all there.
It's such a big part of Warcraft, and WoW. You've got all these racial passives, and you're even in Warcraft 3 for crying out loud. Yeah. So I don't know, like Give me undead that, like, I don't know, regenerate or something, or oh, it'd be so cool. Oh man, the things you could do with undead.
I'm sure that undead is a thing. It's either coming with this or it's coming with the Death Knight, one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, you got
It's
ogres, orcs, you got tauren, you got all that stuff. Where just whatever it is, put what race it is at the bottom of the card, whether it can buff itself or not based on that. But just have them all there for down the line.
Would tauren
right?
just be +1 tasty?
Yeah, exactly. Like, just at some point we could start putting that stuff in there. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me.
They think that having a way to play the arena / draft mode outside of the arena would be super cool and fun. Not yet, though. They said that they have other things to take care of first. So
Okay.
Good thing that they didn't. We're just like, no, it's a terrible idea. We're never doing it. Because
They tend not to say that. They're pretty open to ideas from everybody.
I think everyone really wants a way to do competitive, limited Hearthstone, which currently
Seems to me like everything's on the table with these guys.
Yes,
though. Like,
absolutely.
you make a good point, Jocelyn. Like, I haven't heard them say like, "Oh, that's just never going to happen." Like, I just have not heard that as an answer.
Well, when people have asked about the other Blizzard franchises that in the Hearthstone, they more or less said
that's true. That might
I think
be
that's the only no.
And that's the one where I'm just like, why? I have a Thor pet in World of Warcraft. Why do we care? Like, why do we really care that much? Anyways, minor things. It's like I feel like anytime we complain on this show, it's like we should like subtitle. It's a minor issue in an otherwise large and awesome experience for us.
Yeah.
And then finally, they said there are no current plans for a test realm in Hearthstone, which I've seen some people going around very, very surprised that there will be no external testing of these 30 new cards, and I'm not that surprised. I can see if it was an entire new set, like we were getting 200 and something new cards. I could see them being like, "Hey, by the way, we have a PTR for Hearthstone now. Come in, test these."
But again, though, what they do in Hearthstone is let the meta sort itself out, and the player base will figure out what's good and what's not, and they will kind of fix it. So you don't really need it in a game like this. It's just not necessary, I don't think. But did we not mention the tournament thing here? Because I'd actually like to bring up that I think the tournament thing could be really cool. Like a tournament lobby similar to anybody who has ever played online poker. Where you say like, oh, I want to play a sit and go tournament. I want to play like a best of whatever. I really want that to happen at some point. I really want that to happen. Just to play tournaments in the game without going outside to find them.
That would
and
be
then
great.
A tournament mode where I can set up my own tournament.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I mean, the fact that has never existed in StarCraft makes me think it may never happen.
Yeah, but
I think with
in this
StarCraft
game,
it'd be a little bit different. Yeah. StarCraft matches run pretty long. They're complex. It would be really difficult, I feel like, to time a tournament. I feel like some people might finish in 10 minutes and some people might take 30 or 40.
I guess with the time turns in Hearthstone, it's a little less.
It would kind of condense things and make it easier to plan.
I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying that the lack of it in other Blizzard games that are almost strictly competitive concerns me.
Yeah. Side note, no news on Spectator mode.
No.
Side note.
That's not what this entire panel was about.
No, absolutely, but
and I mean they've already told us that is one of their priorities, and they're trying to get it out as soon as possible. But I mean, they didn't realize how popular it would be, how quickly it would grow into an esport type thing. Right. So, I mean, they've already told us it's a priority, so they don't really need to tell us that again. I think we'll get it as soon as we possibly can, and they're working on it, and that's all we need to know.
That was actually specifically referenced in the Blizz Pro interview. They said, yeah, it's still a top priority, and it's still being worked on. But there's just nothing new. I mean, what else is there? Until it's done, there's nothing to announce.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, either they're working on it or it's done. It's very binary. Like, I don't feel like there's really anything groundbreaking that's going to come out of a Spectator client for this game. I'm going to be really excited to get my hands on it when it comes out, and we'll probably talk about it. But I mean, what are they gonna do? I mean, there's nothing amazing. They're gonna be like, well, you know, you can track this stat and that stat. Cool, that's awesome. It's not really like huge, big newsworthy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So good.
I mean, yeah,
Looking forward
we'd
to it.
already kind of heard about it, so it makes sense. Like this was the news. Talk about this news. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Side note, they did say that the full iPad release would be in 1 to 2 weeks. Nothing specific. It's Blizzard.
And then we're
yeah.
getting Naxxramas just after that, right?
No.
They hinted
It's a few months away.
they hinted it would be quote unquote hot on the heels of iPad release.
I think it's yeah. I don't know about that.
Nostradills is still
I think
disagreeing.
we're a
Dillstradamus, wait, which one is it?
I think we're a month away. I think US is gonna see iPad release in 3 days. I think
3 days.
3 days.
That wouldn't even be a week from PAX,
Yeah.
and they said 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 1 week. That is 1 week.
3
From
days
Friday?
from Monday is a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday is when apps come out. So I think we're gonna see US on Thursday.
Okay.
Wouldn't it make more sense if it was a week from Thursday?
Maybe.
Because that would be between 1 and 2 weeks.
Maybe.
But no, you're sticking with 3 days.
I'm sticking with 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
That would be 2 weeks after Canada release. And I think that's about right.
Stupid Canada.
What are you complaining about? You both defected.
No, I am not admitting or I will neither confirm nor deny any of your accusations.
I did get busted by Yang Wu and Ben Brode, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Whoa.
Yeah,
What-
I'm totally busted.
What they
Yeah.
say to you?
They tried to do something nice for me, and you totally blew it, and they were pissed. I understand.
No, Ben just
I'm not mad. I'm
he
just
tweeted at
disappointed.
me, "Congratulations on your Canadian citizenship."
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I will not, like I said, I will not confirm nor deny. I will say my girlfriend's playing a lot more Hearthstone. I have no idea if that has anything to do with possible couch Hearthstoning, but yeah. Hey,
You guys need another iPad now, is what you need. Right?
actually, yes, I need
That's what
another.
we're finding.
I need another.
One is not enough.
I need another $500 damn is what I need. Blizzard is hosting a Hearthstone World Championship. This was just before all the PAX craziness last week. CM Zoraya came to the on the official forums and posted that season 1 of ranked play was underway and was the stakes are getting raised to be the best of the best on the ladder. She said, quote, "We have mentioned the fact that we're working on details on a big Hearthstone tournament in the future. Each Hearthstone regions will have their best players battle it out Hearthstone style to decide who will be the Hearthstone World Champion. The regional qualifiers for the America region will take the top 16 players for each of the first 5 ranked play sessions, April through August, and pit them against each other until only the best remain. The European regional tournament will function in the same manner as the Americas region. Korea and Taiwan and China will have slightly different qualification methods that will be detailed soon." She also said that becoming a top 16 Legend player isn't the only way to qualify for the Americas or Europe regional tournament, and more information regarding on how to qualify outside of ranked play will be announced at a later time. Awesome. So we're getting like a soft WCS for Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And if you think about the timing, April through August, what this sounds like is next BlizzCon, it's not going to be an invitational.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like a legit, you qualified, these are the best Hearthstone players in the world.
Yep. Even if there is another BlizzCon, which it's looking more and more like there is going to be one.
Come on,
There's
is.
going to
There's
be
so
one.
much going
I've
on.
already made travel plans.
Yeah. Don't ruin Jocelyn's mood right now. There is going to be one. And it's going to be insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean we're gonna find a way to go. If I have to go work the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
in his bikini.
I mean,
in his mankini. Yeah.
I mean, like cleaning up the corner, man. What are you talking about?
So I am not hopeful to get into the top
I was
16
going to say, which
over and over
one are
again.
you going to qualify in? Are you going to
Well,
play
I'm
like
gonna
try
try, damn it.
July when everyone else is on vacation?
I'm going to try at some point. And either way, Blizzard, if you're looking for people to cast this thing,
Just putting it
I
out
know
there.
3 people who could probably do a pretty good job at it.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
saying.
The Hearthstone
Just
casting
saying.
Archon. That's what we've got right here. Anyways, that'll more or less do it for news. I feel like we could sit here and theory craft a little more with the only the 5 cards we got to take a look at, but we might as well move into strategies.
Well, hold on.
But
I was like, we're both highlighting
We're
like
like,
crazy in the
you know,
doc,
I
and
know we
Garrett's
only have
Before you
like
do, I just want to mention something. If you've heard of Twitch Plays Pokemon, there has now been a Twitch Plays Hearthstone bot created, and you can actually go in and with the hive mind play Hearthstone and
scream at your monitor.
It's the most frustrating way to play Hearthstone you've ever had in your life, unless maybe you've tried to play, random decks in the ladder or something. I don't know. I don't know how you could make it more frustrating, but it is really, really frustrating. And I did it for like a good hour, and it was fine. It was fun. You chat and you do whatever, but I encourage everyone to at least go check it out because it's a cool project and somebody put a lot of time into this. They created a program that basically like captures everyone's clicks. Everyone says what they want it to do, and then it just like collectively decides what the most popular decision was, and then it makes that turn. Unfortunately, in Hearthstone, you have like 2 minutes to make your decisions, and the timer is not fast enough. So there's lots of times where it's like, well, we forgot to play the Yeti when we had 4 mana left, but we spent all the time figuring out which thing to attack instead. So yeah, but I still think it's really cool and commend the people who came up with it and actually implemented it. It's amazing. So everyone go check it out.
Awesome. Twitch Plays Hearthstone. Go watch it, play it, scream at your monitor. It's time for strategy.
Yeah.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
Take it away, Dills.
Hey, what's up? We're talking about RNG this week.
We are.
So exciting.
Which let's just we still get emails from people like, I don't know the acronyms you're talking about or the decks you're talking about. What's a Zulok? Oh my god. RNG, random
Okay,
number
RNG
generator.
stands for Randy, Nigel, and Gary. And they're 3 no, I'm sorry.
Gary
RNG
is my
stands
father's name.
Random number generator, which is basically means anything in the game that's random is an algorithm. It's a random number generated by the computer. And so this is just rolling the dice. That's what it is. And there's a lot of cards in Hearthstone that are completely random, RNG based. And people talk about how Hearthstone, and we've talked about it on the show, is Hearthstone too RNG based, or is it, skill based? What's the percentage of skill compared to what's the percentage of just getting lucky? And I won because I was lucky. He beat me because he top decked, blah blah blah, right?
Well, clearly, because the same popular streamers keep making it to legend, season after season. It's clearly
Exactly.
luck, and there's no skill behind it whatsoever.
Yeah, well, it's just like with poker. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, poker. It's like, this guy just got lucky all the time. Well, the fact is, there's a few guys who have won more poker tournaments than anybody else and have earned more money playing poker. It is what it is. It's not baseball, it's not football, it's not pool, it's not those types of things. But so there is luck involved. And what I want to highlight this week is that one of the things that separates the good players, which, like you got like your Savage and your Strife Crows and your guys who are constantly at the top of the ladder. What is it that makes them so much better than everybody else? Well, they understand the RNG
And how to
and they
manipulate
manage
it.
it better.
They manipulate it. They bend it to their will. They're the Sith Lords of RNG.
And actually, I'm going to use Savage as a really clear example of this because he actually didn't play a lot of Magic. He played a lot of poker. He came from the poker world. You've also got like Gwalls, Gabe Walls, who was a guy who actually cashed in the World Series of Poker and was a world champion at Magic the Gathering, and now is playing a lot of Hearthstone. And he understands how the luck factors in, and it's basically putting yourself in a position to get lucky, right? So yeah, sometimes it's like, oh my god, that guy got so lucky on me. He hit my face with rag when I had 4 minions on the board. Cool, he got lucky, but you can actually manipulate situations to give yourself a higher percentage of chance to do the right thing than fail, right? So I think, Garrett, you had a crazy game story last week where you had 3 cards in your hand. You had to play all 3 cards to win the game,
And
right?
2 of them were discard cards. One of them discarded 2 cards.
Yeah, so you played the one that you definitely couldn't discard first.
Leroy.
Then you played the one that would only discard 1 card second.
Soulfire.
Then you played the card that discarded 2 cards when you had no more cards to discard.
Doomguard.
That's manipulating RNG right there. Like, you played those in the correct order to give yourself the best chance to actually do it. Whereas, like, someone else might just shove that Doomguard out there first, and like,
And then,
lose.
there goes my Soulfire and my Leroy. I guess I lose.
Yeah. And then be like, holy crap, I can't, I'm so unlucky. I'm just so unlucky. Like, I can't win.
And if people missed that example from last week, there was one other card in my hand, the Argent Squire, which was the one that did get discarded, and I praised the RNG gods.
Yeah. And that was the card that you needed to get discarded, right?
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's very important that you guys understand how to manage your RNG.
Oh, I think we just lost Dills. Or I just lost you guys. What just... Now I can hear you.
Oh, I think we're totally losing Garrett because I could hear Dills the whole time.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That was
I'm
weird.
good to go.
Like, I could hear you guys fine, but just like all audio just gone.
I'm good to go. I can hear you, but you are kind of crunchy right now.
Okay. So. I don't know. You guys are coming through crystal clear now.
Okay, good.
That
good.
was weird.
We're good then.
So let me talk about like a couple of like really common scenarios, and then I'll like try to kind of. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I just want to talk about some common scenarios, and then we'll kind of like we'll just like kind of shove that into like the overarching story of how to manage RNG. So common scenarios are like I'm a mage and I have arcane missiles in my hand. The guy plays a 2 health minion, right? Should I play my arcane missiles to kill said 2 health minion? Well, the odds tell us that it's a 50% chance to kill that guy. So if, in your estimation, a 50% chance is worth more than what the other play would be, like let's say he plays a 3-2, and in my hand I have arcane missiles, but then I also have like, I don't know, a 1/4, which doesn't exist in a mage, but I'm just using it as an example. Is it worth it more to me to play the arcane missiles, give myself a 50% chance to kill this guy, or try to like play this other card and maybe kill him on the next turn? That's where you have to kind of like factor it in. Then there's also like Mad Bomber. The guy plays a 1 health minion. Mad Bomber actually has a 70% chance, 70.37 to be accurate.
To be nerdy.
To kill that 1 health minion, because it has 3 bombs that go out, and it's got 3 total targets, which is yourself, the other hero, and that 1 health minion. So it's actually a really good play when they play like a 2/1, like a Leper Gnome or something like that, and you follow up on turn 2 with a Mad Bomber. You're most of the time going to kill that 2/1 with your Mad Bomber. So these are really good situations there. Then there's the other situations like Avenging Wrath and Consecrate. I know anyone who's played a lot of Paladin knows about this situation where I have Avenging Wrath and Paladin in my my hand at the moment, and there's a bunch of shit on the board, and I'm like, okay, do I play the Avenging Wrath first or the Consecrate first? And it's like, how do I best manage my RNG in the situation? And generally it's better to play the Consecrate first, because the Consecrate's never going to waste damage, right?
It's a known quantity. You're guaranteed that 2 damage on every single target on your enemy's side of the board.
Exactly. So like with the Consecrate, I know I'm going to do 2 to everything, and then when I play the Avenging Wrath, if something has 1, I wouldn't potentially got that down to 1, where then I play the Consecrate and lose that damage effectively.
Right.
So You know,
Plus,
you
if
want to
you-
kind of manage your RNG.
Yeah. Plus, if you quote unquote, you can't really overkill with an Avenging Wrath, but if you say, there's a couple minions with 1 health, if you've got 6 damage left over, it's 6 damage to your opponent's face. It's not a bad thing.
No, that damage isn't wasted on a minion that would have already then taken 2 with the Consecrate. So that's the thing. Like, you're not losing the damage. And that's really what's important, too. Then there's the other thing of, like, okay, so I'm going to play my Ragnaros. And, like, let's say I'm going to play my Ragnaros, and there's 2 guys on the board on my opponent's side. And I could kill either, like, the 2/2, or I could kill the 4/5, the Yeti, or the whatever the hell else, right?
Right.
I could probably kill the 2/2 because the Ragnaros hitting the 4/5 is going to be more effective than the Ragnaros hitting the 2/2. So, like, there's other weird situations like that come into play where, like, where am I going to get the most value out of my RNG? So if my Ragnaros hits, my Ragnaros is hitting a 4/5 instead of a 2/2, where maybe my guy can live killing the 2/2 rather than killing the 4/5. And the 4/5 still can't kill my Rag without help, right? So there's a lot of, like, weird situations that come up, and you really need to think about what I'm about to ask my RNG card to do and how to put my RNG card in the...
There went the audio again. What is going on my end?
just internet.
Dills was gonna throw it to me too in strategy.
Internet.
Now I can.
Jocelyn,
never happens.
you were just talking about how you created a zoo deck, and I know you're, like, probably going to talk about it in a second, but I just want you to, like, just quickly go over what, like, a Demolisher has done for you in your current zoo deck, right? Like, we'll talk about it more in a second, but I read up on this and I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you put that Demolisher out there, and it, like, a Demolisher doesn't seem like a good card, but when you
So
keep
much
it
fun.
alive, it's insanely good, right?
Great.
Yeah.
So good.
It's mini Ragnaros, just chucking out 2 damage all the time, right?
Exactly. Plus,
Yeah.
it can still attack.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, yeah, Ragnaros can't attack,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, those little situations where you can kind of put yourself in a situation to get the RNG to work for you rather than against you is what's going to separate the good players from the bad. So, like, if I have in poker, I have, like, 2 7s. 2 7s is most likely going to be beat by a lot of hands, but I know I'm probably 50-50 against a lot of things. It might be worth it for me to put the rest of my chips in. And it's very similar in Hearthstone. Like, it might be worth it for me to put all my faith in this RNG if this RNG gives me a better chance to win the game than if I didn't do that thing. So playing Rag when it has a 50-50 chance to win might give me a better chance than not playing Rag and doing some other weird combination of cards that gives me maybe a 30% chance to win. So it's not a thing I can tell everybody this move is always right in this situation. It's a very abstract thing to kind of wrap your head around, but you got to consider it whenever you're playing any kind of RNG-based card. And there's a really cool Hearthstone RNG calculator, and we're going to put in the show notes here. But you can find out the percentages on all sorts of things.
I did this like 5 or 6 times before the show just to test out the calculator and see it and stuff, and it literally, like, blew my mind. I was just like, oh my god, there's so much work in here and so much math, and it's really, 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 really cool.
It's really interesting.
It
Well,
is.
there's a couple things that are very strange. So, like, let's say the other guy has 2 guys at 2 health, and then he also has Ragnaros at 3 health. And my 2 options are, I have 6 mana, so I could either play Avenging Wrath or I could play Consecrate. Well, Consecrate will 100% of the time not kill Ragnaros, right? Because it's only going to do 2 damage, and Ragnaros has 3 health. But Avenging Wrath will actually 44% of the time kill Ragnaros. That's a better play, even though Consecrate is definitely going to kill the other 2. Ragnaros is a bigger threat. I should give myself a 44% chance to kill Ragnaros. So, like, these are, like, it's like, that's why I say it's abstract. You can't, like, say for sure 100% of the time that this is always better than this. You have to take each situation as it comes and you have to realize what might be better in that specific situation. So I wish I could say to everybody, always do this in this case. You can't do that. But what you need to do is understand what it is that's like, what your chances are.
Right. I mean, it'd be a really boring game if it was that black and white, too.
Yeah.
That's what makes the games interesting and what separates the good players from the great players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I recommend everybody go ahead and play around with this thing a little bit, because you put in some different values and you really find out like things that seem weird. Like Avenging Wrath has less chance to kill a 4/4 minion than it does to kill two 2/2 minions. It just does. And that's maybe something that a lot of people wouldn't be able to wrap their head around without seeing it in action over and over again. But that's how probability works, and it's weird. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, that little calculator, even if you're like not in game or whatever, but just if you're thinking through scenarios or thinking how your cards might go together or what things you might possibly do, just using the calculator to try to wrap your head around some of the things that might come out of a certain play, it's just, it is a little bit complicated. It's crazy at first to see all the numbers pop up, but it really helps you visualize the possible outcomes, and it's so much easier than trying to sit there and figure it out all on your own. Plus, you know, it's all right there, and you can just be like, oh, okay, now I can see it. Now it makes sense. There's all the outcomes. I can figure that out and move on.
Having a forum fight with somebody about Hearthstone, here's your ammunition.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. You could actually have this up while you're playing, and you could be like, well, what's my chance to kill this thing? Okay, let me plug it in real quick. And then hit calculate, and boom, I know. And then you can decide, is it worth it or is it not? Should I do some other play? And there always has to be another play for you to make a decision. But, you know, sometimes it's your only play. Sometimes I die or my rag hits his face.
I got one card in my hand.
Yeah.
I guess that RNG calculator is kind of pointless right now, but
but the thing is like this is stuff that you really should be familiar with if you're trying to get really good at Hearthstone. So I encourage everybody to mess around with it, check it out, and always be thinking about that. Like, what are the chances of me doing the perfect thing here, or the thing that would be good in my current situation? What are the actual chances? It's really important to know that, and just kind of have some sort of base understanding of it. Whether or not you know the exact percentage or not, just to have some sort of frame of reference is just really
wonderful. Well, let's move into Jocelyn's homework hour, also known as Crazy Game Stories.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
So, Jocelyn, what do you have for the class today?
So I actually did my homework, and I really hope it doesn't actually take an hour, because that would be crazy. But I actually did what Dills asked. He said I was supposed to build a Zoolock deck, so I did. I spent about 500 of my 900 dust, which made me cry a little because I was getting really close to potential legendary, but Dills said, so I did. So the only substitution, which we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, was that instead of having 2 harvest golems, because that meant I would have had to craft, I threw a demolisher in instead. And it's actually working out really, really well, because I've been putting it behind taunt, because in this Zoolock deck, there's actually 4 cards for 1 mana that are taunt. So I was finding that almost every single turn 1, I was throwing down taunt. So then I can throw out the demolisher, and that one does 2 damage randomly to the other side of the board at the start of every turn. So I was just getting
a strange inclusion that sounds like it actually works.
It works.
I'm actually going to do this
every single time. Every time.
100% of the time. It works.
It works.
How does that go again?
60% of the time, it works.
It's called Sex Panther.
That doesn't make any sense. It smells like gasoline.
I want to try this. I really do. I want to
Sex
try
Panther or Demolisher
in
in your
deck.
Zoolock deck?
Demolisher and Zoolock deck. Not Sex Panther.
Wonderful.
I really want to try this. Actually, I'm going to go for this. I really think this is a great idea, because a lot of times when people like combat the Zoolock deck, they combat it by throwing a bunch of crap out on their own to try to like match your creatures, you know.
Well, that's the thing. It really helps to clear some of the other side of the board without me actually having to take action with my own minions to try to mitigate some of that threat. So my
It's 2 damage without taking 2 damage.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So it's where, and it has 4 health, which is awesome because it's pretty beefy pretty early, and it's hard for people to kill off sometimes, especially if they have to get through, 3 or 4 health taunt cards on top of killing off my 4 health demolisher. So it's working out really, really, really well. I'm getting at least 2, if not 4 or 6 damage out of the demolisher, plus attacking with 1 damage every time.
You know what else though? The Zulok deck has like the Scarlet whatchamacallits? Not the Scarlet, the Argent Squires. So you have these Argent Squires that are like 1/1s with shields, and then you just do that 2 damage of the Demolisher, and then maybe they can finish them off. Like you've got all these like little cards that don't have much attack.
Yeah.
Then you chuck in like that 2 damage on something, and suddenly like those little tiny bastards can actually finish something off.
It gives you the potential for even stronger board control, which that deck already has some pretty strong board control with Zolfires. And I mean, anytime you have that many bodies on board, you can use creatures as removal. So
I love this. I'm doing this right now. I'm putting this in my deck.
As we speak,
after the show.
right now.
I figured something out. That makes me so happy.
Is checking out and getting in there and playing Hearthstone.
So
wow.
Speaking of actually like removing stuff, this is where like the crazy game part of it comes in, is that the first game I played with this deck, I played a shaman, and the first thing he played was Dust Devil.
Wait, what?
And yeah, and then
Perfect.
so I Mortal Coiled that, and then he played Magma Rager, and I Mortal Coiled that, and I was like, I feel so sorry for this dude right now, like clearly probably new to the game, and I'm just like, oh, you know that beefy guy that you think is just gonna eat my face? Yep. Nope. And I get a card, thanks.
I tickled him
and
to
I get
death.
another card, thanks.
That's what he gets, honestly. He learned his lesson, is what happened.
Hey,
and you taught it to him.
Don't
So-
play
I felt
one health
pretty
minion.
bad
You
about
helped him, Jocelyn. You helped him.
You taught him a valuable lesson.
Yeah. 3 1s with Wind Fury that do 2 overload is not good. 5 1s that cost 3 mana are not good.
Yeah.
That's what he learned.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Poor girl. I mean, either
Poor
way,
girl. Yeah.
I gave it to him pretty good.
Poor,
He or she, they cried.
poor player.
But I definitely found this deck. It was really fun to play with. It was really cheap. I was usually setting the tempo of the game. So we talked about tempo a few weeks ago. I was always ahead, and my opponent was always reacting. I had to life tap on 6 or 7, but it didn't matter. I don't think I ever got below like 25 health. And then I was usually winning by turn 7 or 8. I think the longest game I played went to 8. And then I went on a 6-game win streak and felt really bad about it. And
Yeah.
you know,
So you played
dirty
Zoo is what you did then, yeah, because that's exactly what Zoo deck does. Like,
Yeah.
you don't care about how many cards you have in your hand. You Soulfire even if you lose a good card because you know you can life tap and get the cards back.
So
Like,
turn 5, play the
That's how
Doom
that-
Guard. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what card you have in your hand. Just play the damn Doom
oh,
Guard.
Doom Guard is too good. You always play Doom Guard. Yeah, it's an insane deck, and it's
I was really surprised how well it worked. It was every single time I was pulling a card, it really didn't matter what it was. It went with my deck. It was fine. I was doing damage every turn. I never had an empty board. It was,
Told you.
almost too. No, I know, and I know you did, but
It's a really fun, really solid deck.
I think it's because I just have this aversion to playing Warlock. And I know that they're a great Hearthstone class, but I'm also a big WoW lore nerd, and I've been reading a lot of the books that have to do with like the origin of the Warlocks and the rise of the Horde and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, oh, but Warlocks. Ugh.
I gotta be honest though, my deck that I got second place with in the Mana Grind tournament
Right.
was kind of like pre-Zoo. It really was close to that.
I'll give you that. Yeah, that deck actually was the deck that made me fall in love with the lock in the first place.
Yeah,
I remember you doing
because
so
it was all
well
about playing low-costed cards where I play a bunch of them early and then still have power late with some bigger cards. And that's actually, I built a new deck now, calling it One-Offs, which is basically a Warlock deck where I don't have 2 of anything except for like really good cards, like Soulfire. But I just have one of everything, but my curve is insanely good. And all I'm just counting on is the fact that I always have a card to play every turn, and it's going to be some good card. Whether it's like perfect for the situation or not, it's some good card. But I still have stuff like Jiraxis, like I still have, Siphon Souls and stuff like that in there. But it's just really, the curve is just all the way to the end. So it's like zoo late game style. I don't know. It's weird, but it's actually working really well.
I'd like to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to see
I'll
this
show it
checklist.
to you guys at some point. I'm still not sure that it's got everything it's supposed to have, but it's really interesting to play. I'll say that.
You should at least you should build it on your Hearthstats account or something so we can link it.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah. It's kind of an experimental thing that I'm doing, just because we've always talked about you got to have 2 of everything. But I was like, what if you just have 1 of everything, but you're a warlock, so you can just tap all the time and like just always have a lot of cards in your hand.
That would work.
Be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's an interesting concept I'm working on, but we'll see.
Well, Jocelyn, I'm really happy to hear a word for you. And if this was actual homework, you would get some hardcore extra credit for
A+.
For
I made
figuring out
notes and
some
everything. I
weird
had a
stuff.
little notepad thing open, and I was typing away as I'm playing games. I'm like,
Giving you a gold star, Jocelyn.
Yay!
Good job, class.
a
We will now have that
huge
pizza
nerd.
party we promised. Everyone did so good. All right, let's take some emails and end this thing.
Hello?
Do it.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh,
Hello, brother.
Emails, you can send them to tacpodcast@gmail.com. And our first one today comes to us from Eric, who writes, do you think Blizzard should allow arena wins to count towards the 500 needed for the Golden Hero? They currently do not, but I wish they would. I wish they would too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
I think they should. I don't know why they don't.
I'll say this. I really think they should, because I don't think that Blizzard should be penalizing people who want to play arena and not constructed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are definitely a lot of people out there who don't give a crap about constructed. They just love arena. They want to play arena, and they shouldn't be penalized for that. Like, they shouldn't feel like they're forced into one or the other of the types of
It's also
gameplays.
the
you
more
know?
expensive of the 2 options, technically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
I
just strange.
started out this way. I thought arena was way more fun. It wasn't that I hated constructed. Just, to me, arena is really interesting because you never know what you're going to see. You build a completely random deck and you don't know what you're going to get. And it's just really, every game is like anything could happen every single game. Whereas constructed, it's like I always kind of know what deck I'm playing about 2 or 3 turns in.
Yeah.
I know exactly what deck I'm playing.
Yeah, I agree. I dove back into the arena this past week for the first time in a long time.
I heard you did good, actually.
I did. Yeah, I did well. I went 9-3. It's actually, I believe, the best I've ever done because I don't play a lot of arena. Apparently, playing on your couch is really relaxing, and you make really good decisions.
Yeah, I could say for sure that when I first got the Hearthstone on the iPad using Splashtop, I did 12 wins in arena like almost instantly. Like, there's just something about
something so
just being
relaxing.
in a fully relaxed state. Yeah,
I was chilling in bed at one point, just like, oh man, this is great. The only thing you got to worry about there is not dropping it on your face.
yeah, I gotta be careful. Of that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's wonderful. Plus now I'm getting to sit there like right next to Katie, and who's now more interested because she can play it in a more relaxed environment, and I'm like coaching her. Like, okay, I'm doing this for this reason, and it's fun. It's good.
Yeah. I will say this though. TM18 in chat says one thing's for sure in arena, you're fighting mages. That is absolutely correct.
Damn right. I saw so many mages.
Yeah. As soon as you get to like 7 wins, it's just all mages.
And I'm aware of that
frustrating.
fact. Like, I know they're the most popular. I know they are statistically the best at winning in arena. But I still, like, I've been playing so much construct, and I've been seeing so few mages that I was like, oh man, I forgot I have to learn how to play against a mage again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a good shaman deck. It was fun. It was really fun.
I think shaman is amazing in arena.
I had some weird cards in there, but the best thing was? 3 fire elementals.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Well, that's why you got 9. Fire Elemental.
Great.
So
Turn
good.
6, Fire Elemental. Turn 7, Fire Elemental. Guess
Yep.
what on turn 8? Fire Elemental.
Fire Elemental and a totem.
And then Bloodlust and Wind Fury.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, beautiful stuff. So yeah, I completely agree with Eric. I really think Arena Win should count towards that 500.
Yeah.
Dills, you want to take the next email?
Sure. This is from Mark. He says, "Hey guys, great work on the show. Keep up the good work. Yesterday, I ran into a horrible misclick by my opponent and was wondering how you would have handled it or what would have been proper etiquette. I was playing in the arena against the mage deck and we were going back and forth. Mage has gotten me down to 10 life, hit his 10th mana crystal, and gave me a well played. He then proceeds to pyroblast his own face down to 4 life in a pretty apparent misclick. I burst out laughing after I realized what had happened and wondered whether it was proper etiquette to concede the game. Before I could make a decision, though, my opponent had already disconnected. I've had similar things happen to me when I fireballed my own face instead of placing the card back in my hand. I was wondering what you guys would do in such a situation. Be happy about the free win or concede because your opponent should have won if he hadn't misclicked. You take the free win, dude. Take the free win.
Absolutely take the free win.
Aw.
Yeah.
I guess I have to agree with you too, but I was sitting here, I was like, oh, I don't know. I feel like in that case, I would probably say well played, and I would probably concede.
No,
Yeah.
don't do it.
No, never.
Everyone's done it. It's happened. I mean, not everyone, but most people have at some point screwed up, misclicked, whatever. It's just part of the deal.
You think
You know,
so?
it's
I
the
don't know. I
mechanics
mean,
of
absolutely
the thing
is.
is, I think if it was multiple things or they miss lethal or something, then it's different. But where they have a card that would have bypassed every defense you'd put up, taunt, whatever, and it would have brought you to 0 life, like you had lost the game if it hadn't been for this one click. I don't know. I think I would be like, okay, fair enough.
It's
You
not
beat me.
that hard to not click incorrectly.
No.
Hearthstone
It's
on the
pretty
iPad
easy.
too, it is kind of hard. If you don't go slowly, the game is a little bit slow, and I can see this happening
That's
accidentally in.
Not my problem.
If I'm playing against a good friend of mine and we put $50 on the game and then he accidentally fireballs his own face instead of finishing me off, I may consider being like, dude, you were supposed to win that game. Like, I know you're a good
I guess
Hearthstone
we
player,
neither
we
get
both know you
$50
won.
because I'm the nicer person, but you're an idiot.
But the thing is, you're in the ladder as a person you don't know, like, whatever. You take the win. You just take the win. But, you know?
Do you okay? So if you're just gonna take the win, do you at least emote like sorry, and
No.
then take the no?
No, you say,
You guys are
you say,
dicks.
my magic will tear you apart, and then you.
At the,
get their
I mean,
face.
I think the best way to look at it is, look at if you were playing a tournament, you should be out for blood. Like you should
Yeah.
you should be taking it seriously. You should be playing to win. And if your opponent makes a mistake, it is on them.
Sure.
This is a bigger
Making
issue
a
in other
mistake.
games where you can try and manipulate things to make your opponent make a mistake. Like in Magic, even Magic Online, you can kind of you can make dumb plays that makes them run their timer out to figure it out, and that's shitty. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But at the same
Yeah, you
time,
should do like the obvious BM stuff, like waiting for your timer to go
Right.
out every turn, all that kind of crap.
you shouldn't try to
But-
manipulate the scenario to make them make a mistake. However, if they make a mistake, it is on them, and it's not your fault.
No, it's not your fault, and you shouldn't deserve to lose because it was.
Well, but see, this is the thing. Like, I don't know. I see what you're saying, and I know that it's nothing that he did in this situation. But at the same time, I don't know where it was a pyro and it would have killed him. Like, I don't know. I feel like that makes it a little bit different. It's not the same as, like, say he had 3 cards, he accidentally attacked something he shouldn't have, or clicked his face with a spell that if you add it up with the minions, because everybody misses lethal, but where
Right.
it's like one card that was your downfall, end of story, I don't know.
Well, that's what they get for playing a boring deck and not being
Yeah.
able to execute the simplest thing in the game.
Well, Yeah, good luck with that, Jocelyn. But I will be
know.
taking the free win.
Yeah.
every
No,
single
I
time.
you have good points, Jocelyn. I'm not completely discounting you. I'm just saying that, like, if you're playing in a tournament scenario or even on ladder, like, I mean,
I was gonna, did he say it was a tournament? Did I miss that?
No, he didn't.
No, but I'm just
But
talking about the
I was
mindset.
second. I was
you
going
should
for
be
first
in.
place in the tournament, Jocelyn. My computer shut down. My opponent
I know.
took the free win.
I know he took the win. I was
I'm
watching
not
when that
mad at
happened,
him.
and I was
And-
like,
and
I
you
would
can't-
never have done that.
You can't fault
I'm
him.
not
It's
mad
'cause-
at him.
It's because you're too nice and Canadian.
No, I'm not mad at that guy. I get it. You're fighting for first place in the tournament. The other dude disconnects. You're technically entitled to the free win. Like, I can't be mad at the dude for taking the win there. Like, and I shouldn't be, and he shouldn't feel bad for taking
No, this isn't a you should be mad at him or
No, I know,
you
yeah.
should feel bad. This is a nice, good faith move from like to your opponent. Like I would hope
obviously it's
that if
disappointing.
I had lethal with a pyro and I accidentally clicked my face but didn't kill myself, then my opponent would go, "Ah, crap, she totally had me. Well played, concede." Like,
Sure. All right.
Okay. I was just
Probably not going to happen though.
no, I
I
know
was
it's
just-
not gonna happen, but I'm just saying.
I was just trying
I
to
like
talk
to be
about
nice
it.
and Canadian, all right?
Right.
I was just
You're
trying to
right.
speak
The
at
government
this
should
from
give us free healthcare too, and all that. I mean, yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
it would make you nice to
It's
people.
our American way of life. Apparently, we're just out for blood.
all of America is like Breaking Bad. It's a very true representation of life here. No. It's just I was just talking about the mindset that I think is a fair mindset to be in playing a game competitively.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I take the free win
Yeah.
every single time. Every single time.
I want to take you to like a big, like a Grand Prix, like a big Magic tournament, Jocelyn, because like you know, on your beginning step you draw 7 cards. If you draw 8 cards, you automatically lose that game. If you accidentally draw an 8th, your game loss. Game 2 starts. Like,
Yep.
like they're very strict about rules, and you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jocelyn, would you like to take the final email?
I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a beating.
Oh no. Like I said, I completely understand where you're coming from. I just, I also don't think you can fault people in a competitive game for just expecting their opponent to play at the same level that they're trying to play.
No, and I don't. I understand. So Andrew says, "Hey guys, I've been playing the Unleash the Hounds Hunter for quite some time, and one of my favorite things to do is to play the Eaglehorn Bow, then pop a flare to reveal the enemy secrets and get free durability. Tonight, I was playing at rank 7, and all of a sudden, in a mirror matchup, this play didn't grant me the durability. Then he pulled the same thing off on me, and it didn't work for him either. I don't remember seeing anywhere in the patch notes, and I'm usually pretty well kept up on this kind of thing. Thoughts? So this was, I think, the last patch before the game went live, and you can no longer activate your own secrets. Sucks."
But
Totally
no,
nerfed
but the
Paladin.
flare
thing
is activating the opponent's secret.
You're not activating your own
So-
secret.
But then,
Well,
but
it's
you
not
can't-
activating it, but it's revealing it. And this did work, and now it doesn't. And yet,
and it was never
I cannot
cited.
find it in any patch notes.
Did this work?
It did. It
I
used to
thought
work.
this stopped working as soon as they did that whole opponent secret revealy thingy. Or
That's
No, I
possible,
don't think it
but
had
this
anything to do with
is-
that because it is my turn and it is your secret that I'm revealing. So, to me, it always, seemed to make sense that this would work in that way. However, here's the thing: Flare. Hold on, let me pull this up. I think this was always a bug before.
Yeah, I don't. It seems to me that like they're changing the way that reveal functions.
But this makes sense. I think this was a bug before because Eaglehorn Bow states, whenever a secret is revealed, gain 1 durability. Right.
Mhm.
So, secret revealed. That is the key word. Okay. Flare states, all minions lose stealth. Destroy all enemy secrets.
Right.
Draw a card.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
say reveal.
Flare doesn't say reveal enemy secrets. It says destroy them. So technically, Eaglehorn Bow should not be gaining a durability when you destroy an enemy secret. So when it worked before, this
That was a
think
mistake.
It was just a bug and wasn't supposed to work that way. Now the bug has been fixed, yet somehow it wasn't apparent in the patch notes. But yeah, this is how it's supposed to work. So if you want to gain the durability, you're going to have to actually pop that secret. You can't flare it off.
Right. I never even knew that it worked the way it previously did, because it doesn't seem like that's the way it should have worked. It feels like, like you said, Dills, it seems like it was a bug. It seems like it was fixed. Yeah. It just doesn't seem like it was specifically cited in any patch notes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little things like this where people don't quite understand why one thing works the way it does because the terminology may be a little odd to them. But it's if you want the extra durability, if that's more important to you, the flare is not going to get it for you. So you got to, attack through and pop the secret another way. I mean, having played lots of hunters now with my control warrior deck, I pop plenty of secrets on purpose so that I can get an extra card with my Harrison Jones. So if the durability is what you're looking for, you're gonna have to get it the old-fashioned way, which I guess is now the new-fashioned way. Yeah. But yeah, it was a bug.
Yeah, it was probably included in one of those like various bug fixes statements.
I see. That's the thing. I tried to find it. I looked through like a bunch. I poured over patch notes trying to find them mentioning this, and I could not find. If somebody knows where this is in a patch note somewhere, email us so that we can like see it, but I never saw it. So.
Right.
And I did look. I looked real hard.
Yeah, so Andrew, you're not alone. We were really confused about this today. I even messaged Dills before the show. I'm like, do you know the answer to this? Because I'm looking around, and it's a good question. I'd like to put it in the show, but I don't want to put a question in the show where we're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we don't know. But it doesn't work that way anymore. It used to. I can attest that it used to work that way. It does not anymore.
All right. Wonderful. And what you did find, Dills, was multiple people in forum posts saying, hey, what the hell? But no one responding. So.
Yeah, exactly. There was actually, this guy is not alone. It was actually mentioned by several people on like the Blizzard forums and all that stuff too. So you're not the first one to notice this, Andrew. And
I totally thought this was weeks ago.
No, unfortunately, we just never. I mean, yeah. The thing is, it would make sense if it was like when they changed secrets, but the change they made to secrets shouldn't technically have changed this particular case. But apparently, it did. So maybe when they fixed secrets, they just fixed this as well and just thought it wasn't important enough to say. I don't know.
Yep,
it's weird.
Well, it thoroughly confused me. So way to go.
Good job, Andrew.
Yay.
So anyways, I believe that'll about do it for today's episode. Chat room, if you want to fire a couple questions at us while we do some thank yous, feel free to do so. We'll take a couple before we end. As always, really want to thank the people who are backing us on Patreon. All of you Angry Chicken patrons, thank you guys so much. We get more and more every week. We're inching even closer to that first goal where we'll start doing our Google Hangouts.
Third of the way there.
Yeah,
we are. It's awesome. Yeah, and
it's great.
You go to patreon.com/TAC if you're not a backer. If you really enjoy what we're doing here and you want an opt-in to help us, the show will continue to be free. But if you want to help us out, you can do so by going to patreon.com/TAC. This week, we wanted to thank the following backers. Thank you to Mark L., Lewis L., Jeroen. I'm going to ruin this one. Jeroen.
Sure.
Jeroen R., Jason S., and Ryan N. I apologize for mispronouncing your names, and thank you guys very much for becoming Angry Chicken backers. That's really freaking awesome. And iTunes, of course, one of our biggest platforms for the podcast getting out there. Thank you guys so much for leaving us reviews this week. No new U.S. reviews this week, so it's all from the Canada store. Get in there, Jocelyn.
Well, but there was a new U.S. review. It was just up in the Canadian store. So from Funky Chicken Noodle Soup, here in the Canadian store under false pretenses, in brackets, getting the iPad app. So I thought I'd drop by and say, Team Jocelyn!
That's wonderful.
As soon as he got his Canadian citizenship, he suddenly became part of Team Jocelyn, I guess.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Everyone's jumping ship because I have the iPad app.
The first thing they do when they step on Canadian soil is, get some bacon with syrup on it. He left us a 1-star review and grabbed Hearthstone, or 5-star review. Thank you very much.
And also there was a 5-star review from Yanapu that I totally skipped over in my thanks a few weeks ago, and I'm really, really sorry. That was totally my bad, so sorry.
Awesome.
And so the last one was from Anonymous Cube, and I love that the 1-star reviews in the Canada store are totally jokes. So this one was a 1-star review, but the comment was enrage plus 4 stars. So thanks everyone for being awesome in the
Please
Canadian
don't
iTunes
continue
store.
to do that though.
No, don't worry, because the good news is our 5-star reviews are so prevalent that you can get away with it.
Can't even see
it doesn't
the
even
sliver.
affect us.
Yeah, you can't even see the sliver on the 5th star in the Canadian iTunes store, so it's fine.
No slips. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is the only reference we're going to make the whole show. Just had to make one little joke. J-Rob asks, what can we do to try to get Dills to stop falling asleep while streaming?
I don't think there's anything that can be done, you guys. I think it's just a part of life. You're going to have to accept it.
We need to
He's
get
just
you
that hardcore.
one of those, Spanish Inquisition chairs that's made out of like pyramid spikes.
There you go. Actually, that would be a good idea. If everybody would chip in and purchase me some sort of a throne-style chair.
Torture chair.
With like one of those, and then also get me like an airplane pillow thing that like holds my neck upright. That would be pretty good. I should actually just start streaming with one of those, just in case,
Oh my God! Somebody get Scott Johnson on.
I guess
that.
Should we just say it on the damn show? What happened?
Well, you fell asleep on the stream again. It's not even news at this point.
Fell asleep on the stream again, but this time I went viral apparently, and I was asleep for about a good 4 hours or so, and apparently it got on Reddit.
On the Angry Chicken, on the Angry Chicken Twitter, on my Twitter, on the AMove TV Twitter, on Jocelyn's Twitter, and on your Twitter, our interaction area was filled up with nothing but people talking about you sleeping and about 26 and a half different renditions of you as a Hearthstone spell card. Casting sleep on something. We got like 10 emails in the email. The tadpole on Facebook blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like one of the most commented on posts in the tadpole I'd seen in a long time.
I think it was because of the hour at which you fell asleep and stayed asleep on stream. You were actually asleep on stream when us East Coasters were like getting up.
I woke up.
It was like noon for you guys.
Yeah,
I was sitting in the chat room. It was awesome. We were having a great time.
I woke up at
talking Hearthstone, and then like you would move or something, and everyone would be like, "Oh no, he's gone. He's gone."
I woke up at 10.
Apparently the chat was like really lively, and everyone was having a good time.
It was amazing.
Yeah. I woke up at like 10, checked my phone, saw all this, tried calling you to wake you up, didn't work. Then I'm at the mall to see Captain America at like noon. I'm sitting in a Forever 21, and I'm reading Twitter. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's still asleep.
On camera.
With 160 people
I was
watching
only asleep for like 4 hours. I swear to God, I was up that late, and I was only asleep for a few hours, really, for me. And so it's cool. Whatever. I'm good with it. It's fine. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
It was amazing. It was great.
I'm sure everyone's like, "Oh, that poor guy. He's so embarrassed." Not embarrassed at all.
Not this time. It's happened too many times now. First time it was like, crap. And now it's just like, yeah, that's a Friday night.
But yeah, I'm glad everybody had a good time.
Dark Side, we're doing Patreon shoutouts in the order at which they were given. So we're going in the order at which they were pledged.
Yep.
So you will eventually happen. We're doing 5 a week to keep it relatively short. We don't want to fill up the episode with shoutouts.
We should though. Once we get to like a certain number, we should just give a shout out to all the patrons, all in one episode, and put it.
So it'd be like a
thank you so much.
Like an hour episode of just us ranting names and mispronouncing many.
Well, you just throw them in between segments or something.
This segment brought to you by.
There you go. Who's the Wookiee now?
Will we ever stream Hearthstone from our iPads? I don't think we can. I don't know how.
That would be quite impressive if it was possible.
If I could, I would.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to put some sort of streaming app where it would take your camera and automatically throw it into some corner or whatever. But
and I have I have the latest model iPad, and I still notice some slowdown. So I can't imagine how that would affect it if I was streaming out from it as well.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. So
how close are we to gold heroes? Very far away.
So far away because I jump heroes.
Very far away. I think I have like 50 on one or two.
I was gonna say I
I
haven't
think I'm
even
coming up
cracked
on
50.
40 on the Warlock, and that's just because it's the one I've probably played the most, but I've been jumping around. Plus, this week I played like nothing
Yeah,
but
I have
Arena.
been too.
So, that damn Arena.
I suddenly woke up and cut you all off. I know, because you know when you wake up, like what's the first thing you want to do? Talk to a bunch of people? No. Suddenly have a conversation with 160 people? No.
Yeah, we totally thought you woke up like 4 times and that you were just screwing with us.
I was, I'm like Frankenstein's monster when I wake up in the morning, man. I'm just this heaping, sweaty mass of meat.
Yeah. I actually, though, when I woke up, I did shut it off and then briefly look at what was going on in the chat. So I was like, was there really this many people in here? And then I scrolled through a little bit, and I was kind of cracking up a little bit by what you guys were saying.
Yeah, there's saying things like, okay, when Dills wakes up, we all have to say at the same time, oh my God, Dills, there's someone behind you.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said, this is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with the flip of a switch. And I quite enjoyed that one.
Awesome. You have a great chat audience. And
Dills does have a really great chat audience.
Yeah, my community of people who follow my Twitch are really enjoyable people. It's a lot of fun. Anybody who doesn't follow me on Twitch, come hang out just for them.
Yeah.
It's good times all around.
I love Garrett's nerd level. He says Frankenstein's monster without getting corrected first. You're damn right.
Yeah.
I know my horror movies. Anyways, I think that'll about do it, guys. Chat room, thanks so much. Your questions have been great, and your banter, as always, has been even better. The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and the Frog Pants Studios. You can see more about this and all of the AMove shows, like the brand new Into the Nexus with me and Dills and Kyle Ferguson, who's as pretty as Jocelyn, but he's a dude, so it's weird to say. You can find all of those over on
Less
AMove.
glasses, more beard.
.tv. Yes. Yeah. Almost as long of hair. He needs a dye of blonde. There we go. Done. Also, make sure to check out all the shows over on frogpants.com as well, like Dills on the Instance, where he also talks about Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm and jazz like that. Our email is tacpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to the forums over at forum.amove.tv. We now have one up for Into the Nexus. Sweet. Catch us live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV, which if you're a podcast listener and you haven't checked out the Twitch page, go there, follow us, because we stream a lot of Heroes of the Storm there. And if you've ever wanted to see us get our swearing on while also kind of drinking and making fun of whatever poor bastard is the random fifth slot of which we blame all of our losses on, it's a good time. So check it out.
By the way, I'm switching. I'm gonna play some Malfurion coming up. I think I got a good build.
He is really good.
I think as far as helping the team goes, I wanna try it out, because I think I've got some good ideas on how I can make it work.
Sweet. He's a sick healer.
Yeah.
Absolutely sick healer. Our mobile
Sustain.
Yeah. Our mobile live streams are provided by Alpha Geek Radio, which you can get by going to mobile.alphageekradio.com. Our Twitter is @TAC Podcast, which we finally passed 2,000 followers. Yeah!
Wow.
You can follow me at Garrett Art, which I have not surpassed 2,000 followers. You can follow Dills at Willie Dills and Jocelyn at GIS Gamer. Also, big thanks to Brian Griffith, the musician responsible for our intro music. He can be found over at briangriffithmusic.com. And my personal graphic design portfolio, which is what I do on the side, can be found at nomoonart.com. If you need a freelance graphic designer, go check it out. Dills, where can people find you at?
Well, everybody can find me on the Instance on Friday mornings, which is the World of Warcraft podcast, so that you don't have to. So everybody who was thinking about starting a World of Warcraft podcast, just don't do it. There's no point. We already got that on lockdown. You can also find me on Torturecast, the Giants podcast. We talk about baseball, mostly the Giants, and we won't be doing one tonight. We canceled that one tonight because we went a little long here. That's fine. We had a good time. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. But we pretty soon we'll be back in the press box. So we will be doing our bonus-sode from those. And if you ever want to hear me talk on a podcast and get drunk, you can do that at all of my podcasts, but especially this one. There's also the Mediocre Golf Association and the MJ Mediocast that goes along with it. Whether the cat just meowed, I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
If we didn't, we sure know about it now.
Yeah, I'm actually cat sitting for my mom. She's in Italy for a couple weeks, so I'll have a cat cam going on my stream for the next couple weeks. So everybody look forward to that. And,
Can we see the cat sleeping on your face?
Actually, I wonder if I'd had a cat that night, would it have crawled on my face and woke me up? Maybe I need
come
a cat.
up and like smacked your nose a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
This would be very entertaining.
Wake up!
As
feed
the
me.
owner of two cats, probably.
I should just get cats just so I never fall asleep on the stream again.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Oh, and of course, Into the Nexus, by the way,
yeah.
which we already mentioned.
Into the Nexus, yeah. Jocelyn, what about you?
Every Friday night on A-Move TV, I do The Gamers In, which is a general gaming podcast. If you want to catch me streaming, I do that over at twitch.tv/GISgamer.
But she's streaming ESO, so it's probably boring.
Actually, that's why I haven't been streaming, because I've been playing
Doesn't stream ESO because there's so many haters like you, Dills.
Yeah, I
Such a hater.
avoid
I know it.
streaming
I know it.
when
It's
I play
cool.
ESO, because
I talked a bunch of crap about it on the
Willie
instance,
Dills
and already got
Gregory,
some
the man who
emails.
gives me crap for giving The Walking Dead show crap, but doesn't like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. It's not that I don't like Game of Thrones. I'm not caught up and I don't watch it. So.
and we
man.
also
One day I will be sick and I'll stay home and watch them all or something.
If you can make it through True Detective, man, Game of Thrones is like a really uplifting show by comparison.
That's true. Yeah. When I watched the whole first season, at the end I was like, wow, they just did that. Okay.
I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight. I'm never gonna look at lawnmower men the same way again.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think I will like that show once I actually do it. I just haven't done it. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
But ESO, I will never like.
fine.
Yeah.
If you do want to see me stream, I do stream every Thursday night on either GIS Gamer or on the Gamers In, because we do Gamers In game night every Thursday night. So we pick a different multiplayer game, we play with the community, we have a lot of fun. So
That's
totally
check it
awesome.
out.
Will you play with me?
You're doing your Into the Nexus thingy.
Oh, so people shouldn't go check it out, is what you're telling us.
Well, no, it's the times
The
don't.
Nexus
I think
thingy
that
is
we happen right when you guys end. Then
Okay.
we start our game night. So
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Also, please check out our sponsors, DoghouseSystems.com. Our code is TAC, and that'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. And also, the new special edition Doghouse Systems are out, and you can get the Angry Chicken Doghouse System with our logo plastered on the side of that mother.
What?
Yes, I haven't
real.
seen it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
I'm
up.
going to look at it right now.
Go get
I'm
it.
looking at it right now.
Are you? It's in your eye holes.
How do I see it? Where do I go? Special editions?
Special
Okay.
editions.
I don't even see it.
This is great radio. It may
Yeah.
not. It may not have been up. I know they're
It's not up
available.
yet.
If it-
Starcast is up.
I see the
if
instance
it's
one.
yeah, it's going to be replacing the Starcast one. You can get them though. All you do when you order it, you just request the Angry Chicken one, and you will get the Angry Chicken Doghouse Special Edition. So
Oh my god, that is the coolest!
yep. So get it. I have one coming to me. That's an A-Move TV version. I'm very excited.
Gotta be honest. I have an item in World of Warcraft named after me, but this is way cooler. This is way cooler.
Oh, I
a
wanna-
computer with our logo on the side.
I want a
Oh,
Hearthstone card so bad now.
I wonder if I can just get a side panel, because I don't need a new doghouse. I have one.
If you have
I just
that,
want the side panel.
if you have that white chassis, I think it might be possible.
I don't. Mine's black.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to talk about this on air. I don't want people asking them for favors. All right. That'll do it. Please check out DoghouseSystems.com because they are awesome. Again, the code is TAC, double memory for free. Also, check out the Angry Chicken Special Edition version with the logo on the side. And we will see you all next week for episode 28 of the Angry Chicken. Job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!